Hi, welcome to Fork in the Loaf. My name is Heather, and today I'm going to do another pantry stable food storage using meal. It's completely using food storage. It's all from my pantry. There's only one perishable item that I'm using, and it seems like it's a lot more convoluted and harder than it really truly is. So I am going to go ahead and get started on showing you what we're going to do. We're going to be doing chicken enchiladas, and I have all of my stuff is from my pantry. I have canned chicken. I'm going to add some green chilies to that. I've got like a bunch of seasonings. Let me see if I can point you down here. So I've got all these seasonings and spices. I have corn masa flour that I put and sealed in here in, looks like 2020. But it's been vacuum sealed. I just opened this one up last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. So that's still good. And then I have onion and chili powder, Korean chili flakes, which this is just my favorite thing ever. Garlic, salt, a little tomato sauce. I'm going to be making the tortillas from scratch, which surprisingly does not take a long time. We're going to be making our enchilada sauce from scratch, which surprisingly does not take a lot of work. And then the chicken is already canned, or you can buy canned chicken, or you can use chicken from a whole chicken, or just take some chicken breast. You can throw it in your Instant Pot, which I have broth in here right now, but you can put that in your Instant Pot and have chicken cooked in a matter of 20-30 minutes. So it's not something that should take more than, I don't know, I guess I could try timing it, but that would be crazy. Okay, so for my for this whole thing, I'm gonna start by making the masa. You're going to use the corn masa. This is just, it's M-A-S-A. It comes in a bag. You can nixtamalize corn yourself, but that is an endeavor that I haven't even bothered trying yet. I just as soon just go buy it as of right now. It's cheap, it's easy, and I don't do this enough for it to be like, I just haven't gone there yet. One of these days I might try that, and we'll try that together, I'm sure. So this is roughly 2 cups of masa flour. I'm going to start with 1 cup, and I just start adding it. The corn is going to absorb quite a bit. In the recipe, there's about 2 cups of the corn masa flour to about 1.5 to 1 3/4 cups of hot water. You don't need to use boiling water. My water just got really hot, so I let it cool for a little while. You just want it to be hot. You can use hot tap water. I get mine from my Berkey, so I needed to heat it up. You're going to make it form into a soft dough. You want it to be not sticky like that. So hold on just a sec. I gotta go get more masa flour. So I'm gonna open this, and I'm just gonna add it, not a ton, because it's already pretty much there. And this is gonna be a steam. There we go. I'm not going to add a ton, probably just like about a tablespoon. And I'm going to try and mix that in and see. It reminds me of mashed potatoes. The consistency is like a dry mashed potato. And you want it to be a soft dough, not a hard dough. But you don't want it sticking to you. So it might have just been slightly under 2 cups. I got just a little heavy-handed with the water. Let's see how it's doing now. Pretty good. So I'm going to put a cover on this, and it's warm. Oh, it feels good on my cold fingers. I'm going to put a cover on this and see how it's got sticking, but not quite as bad. And it's holding its shape. It's doing all the fun stuff that it needs to do. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this, and we're going to let it sit here. So I'm going to let this sit here and rest while we make our enchilada sauce. So in my pot, and you can use a frying pan. I've seen people use frying pans. I've used sauce pots. I just need a pot that's deep enough that I'm not going to get it all over the place. And I have a working kitchen, so I have a lot of stuff out for on a normal basis. You're going to put 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil in there. You can use any kind of fat or oil that you want to. I prefer to use coconut oil, olive oil. I use avocado oil, lard, ghee, whatever you have on hand and that you prefer. You're going to get your oil warming up. And while your oil is warming up, I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of chili powder. And I'm just using, this is just McCormick brand, whatever chili powder you use. I'm going to put in about a tablespoon. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of cumin. I'm going to put in about a half a teaspoon of garlic and a half a teaspoon of onion powder, because what's anything meaty and savory that doesn't have garlic and onion in it, right? Here's my onion powder, about a half a teaspoon. I love Korean chili flakes. I love them. I love the smell and the taste. Anyway, I think they make everything taste better. So I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of that to that. They're not spicy. To me, they're about as hot as black pepper or even chili powder. To me, they're not spicy at all. Got the cumin in there. My bread is rising. Last but not least, I would throw in just a little bit of black pepper and a little bit of salt. And I'm just going to crack it to taste. I like pepper. A little bit of salt. This is sea salt. You can use any kind of salt. I don't use table salt. This is a sea salt. I've got my Himalayan pink salt, Redmond's real salt, whatever kind of salt you like. So this is starting to heat up, and what you're doing here is just toasting your spices. It's kind of brings out the flavor and the smells. I've seen some people use tomato paste, some people use no tomatoes, some people use a little. I've got this kind of tomato sauce. It's just, it's an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, just a store brand that we got at a case lot sale, which I love. And you're just going to toast these for about a minute or two. They get very fragrant. You can use fresh garlic and fresh onion in here. I don't like that because I like my enchilada sauce to be smooth. And after you've done this for about 1 to 2 minutes, a lot of people just use flour. I don't often use just plain flour, so I have my sourdough starter. And can you see how bubbly that is? Beautiful stuff. So I'm going to take a dollop, probably about 2 tablespoons worth, and I'm going to stick that in there, and I'm going to start whisking that in. I want that to cook just like you would your flour. The only difference is it's wet. And then you can cook it. I see how it's kind of getting clumpy and cooking. I'm going to go ahead, get that in there, try and get all those lumps out. And then I have, this is just a chicken broth that I made. I don't even remember when I made it, but it's been in my freezer. And we're going to add it to here. We're going to whisk it in and try and make sure that we whisk. You're trying to make sure we get all the lumps out. And I'm only adding about 2 cups of it. So I put about 3 tablespoons of starter in there because it is wet. I don't know. I'm guesstimating how much flour I'm using. I might need to add more stock to it, and that's okay, because really we are just trying to get an enchilada sauce. But that's it. Now I'm gonna let it simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes. We're looking for it to thicken, and we're looking for it to become like an enchilada sauce. Oh, to have smell-o-vision. I'm just gonna go through here and make sure I'm stirring it occasionally. I'm not gonna stir it constantly because I don't have time for that. But while I have this on simmer, I'm gonna take you over and show you how to do the tortillas. One of the important things you want to do when you're cooking this kind of stuff is you want to taste it. Like I just kind of got a little bit of a taste of it and it seemed like it's missing something. So I'm gonna add about a teaspoon more of chili to it. I think the chili is what creates the flavor of the sauce. Some people like to put oregano in it. I'm not a big oregano fan, so I'm hoping I can get away with not doing it, but I'm kind of wondering if that's what it's missing. All right, anybody who knows me knows that I have this love of cast iron. So this was one of my favorite purchases. It's just an 8-inch tortilla press, cast iron. But this will make this so much faster and easier, but I will show you another way you can do it. So we are going to grab a golf ball size. Let's see, are you on? And we're going to roll it in our hands. Okay. And in here, in this little plastic sheet that I have cut, it's just a Ziploc freezer quart size bag. I cut off the edges, I cut off the top, and I left that fold at the bottom. And I just put this on here, and I put this, I kind of centered a little bit towards that way because I know it's going to squish this way. When I close this and I push down, the force of it is going to push it that way, this way. And so have a tortilla. You know you've got enough masa flour in there when everything comes off just, not like that though. Comes off just so. I got a little too thin over there, I think. Okay, and now I'm gonna go stick this on a very hot skillet. If you do not have a tortilla press, I'm going to show you another way you can do this. Have a cutting board. Get your golf ball-ish sized dough. I forgot to put salt in it, y'all. I'm doing great. You're supposed to put a sprinkle of salt in here too. I'm not gonna worry about it. What we're gonna be eating has salt in it. It's okay, it's not gonna ruin it. And I could put it in now, but it's just not worth it. So grab a cutting board. You want something big and flat. Put it right on top. And squish. Squish. And you want to try and make sure that you're squishing evenly. Because if you don't, you're going to have that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to take that off and I'm going to reapply it. And see how I got it kind of squishing this way. I'm going to try and squish that way a little bit. Put it on there and squish. And there I have a tortilla. It's a little bit thicker than the tortilla press is much easier. But I think you're kind of getting the gist of it, right? The tortilla press it gives you the right amount of pressure. Not quite sure. Ugh. This one gives you a workout. So I'm gonna call that good. It is a little bit thicker, but I'm okay with that. So my enchilada sauce is done. And I've got this heating up and I've got this one hot. And this is that first one. It is starting to bubble right there, so you know it's done. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over and do it a little bit longer on this side. So you're gonna want some sort of a towel or something. So this is just the cover that I had on on the tortilla. This one's just starting to brown, which is okay. I'm gonna stick that in here and I'm gonna let it stay in here. It'll help keep it moist and steamy and soft. And I'm gonna grab a couple more tortillas. So this is the tortilla I just lost a piece. I just did this one on underneath the cutting board. I don't think this one's hot enough yet. Put this one on this one. Do as I say, not as I do. While that is, I got that one that we use the cutting board, and I'm gonna go ahead and do some more this way. You wanna keep this going. I go throw this one on. You know, there's enough masa flour when it comes off easy. It could probably use just a little bit more masa flour just by how it's coming off of the plastic. Do one more while those two are cooking. This little edge right here is kind of what happens. See, there's the fold, and it'll come out the edge if you put it too close to this side and not close enough to that side. And this part, although it seems like a lot of work, when you're doing it in your kitchen, it's done in no time. Like over here, I have these two pans going, and so it makes it kind of go really, really fast. So this is my tortilla bowl. And really, I am okay with using it just like this because it's not even had a chance to have any sort of bacteria grow in it or anything like that. And I don't see any reason why I can't. It's going to be all going into the same dish anyway. So I'm going to take this big old, I'm taking this big old chunk of meat out. And I'm going to break it all up. And use it just like a pulled chicken. This is chicken, I think. Is it chicken or pork? It's chicken. I have in here some mushroom stems and pieces, which I just strained. I'm gonna throw those in here just to add a little extra vegetable. I've got some diced green chilies. We like them mild, so I'm just gonna throw some of those in there. I have a little bit of taco seasoning. I don't wanna over season this, so I'm only gonna put in probably about 1 tablespoon. So, because I want it to have a little bit of the taco-y seasoning, but not, I don't want it to overpower the enchilada sauce. I'm gonna throw it, this was so much spinach, y'all. So I'm gonna throw in that ton of spinach that just reduced to nothing, just to add a little more vegetable. I'm gonna stir this all up. My husband, I love cream cheese in this. My husband does not. I like the cheddar jack blend from Costco. I'm gonna add probably about a cup of cheese. Well, that's about a half a cup of cheese. Maybe just a half a cup of cheese. I think that's plenty. And that is gonna be the meat part of our enchiladas. So one of the things that I know about enchiladas is that you normally would grab your tortilla, you'd put your stuff in there, you'd roll it and you stick it in here. And I would say I'm a lazy cook. Rather than doing that, I'm gonna do it lasagna style. So I'm gonna take some of this sauce, and as this cools, it gets much thicker. So see, it's really getting thick, but that's perfect. And I'm gonna grab one of these beautiful homemade tortillas. I'm gonna grab 2 of them. And they're super, you guys, oh man, they are super pliable. We're gonna just put, we're gonna put 2 in there, just like that. I'm gonna grab maybe a third of this, maybe a half of it. Let's do half. We'll just make 3 layers. It's really just me and my daughter and my husband that are gonna eat this. My mom won't eat this. She's very keto, like very keto. Dr. Berg. big keto. And then because I already have cheese in there, I'm not going to add a layer of cheese. Probably be good with some cheese, but maybe this would be better on the tortilla. Clean hands, guys. Make sure you have clean hands. And then I'm going to grab 2 more tortillas. Cute little one. Go like this. And you're just kind of, I like it when they get browned like that. They taste yummy. I'm going to take a corner off of here just to place in there. And then I'm going to take more of this meat. And I'm going to do something a little different this time. I'm going to put the tortillas on next. Like that. Like this. These are so nice and pliable. Put that right there. And then I'm going to put some sauce. Well, we got to save some for the top. And this is not going to be the top because I still got to use up all this stuff. And then we'll put the rest of this meat mix in there. And I'll put more tortillas on top, I think. I'm gonna go like this, and like that. And then I can put the rest of this sauce on the top. And it's okay. It will sink and bubble down into the rest of this. So if it seems like a lot at the top, it's okay. It's okay. It'll be fine. And last but not least, I'm going to take cheese and top this. Probably another half of a cup. Doesn't really need much more than that. So this is just like an 8x8 or a 9x9 pan. You can use, I think if you were gonna make this bigger, you might want to double the enchilada sauce. I bet we would have plenty of tortillas if we wanted to do it on a 9x9. To finish this off, I'm gonna cover this with a little piece of parchment paper. I think I have that right here. Little trick with tinfoil, you wanna put the shiny side down. I don't know if it's true or not. They say that the shiny side will reflect heat. You want that heat to go in, so you want the dull side out. If you have the shiny side out, it will reflect the heat out and it'll take longer. So we always just do it shiny side in. And I'm gonna put this in the oven at 350 degrees and it takes about 45 minutes. It's not a fast dinner. It is more work, but let me tell you, if you have all these ingredients in your pantry, you can make this from your food storage. Okay, so I just pulled it out of the oven. Took about 45 minutes, then I took all the stuff off the top, and then I added, I put it back into the oven for 10 minutes, and this is how it turned out. I can't see the layers. I think it's beautiful. It's gonna be a yummy dinner. And I'm gonna serve it with some beans. And I'm gonna call it a meal. So I know that that's not an easy meal. I know it's not a super quick meal. It takes a little bit more effort, but it is totally completely shelf stable from my pantry. I don't even have to put cheese in it. I put cheese in it because I have it, and I try to keep that on hand all the time. So you know, if we were in a situation where we didn't have cheese available or I had to make it from scratch, am I in that position? I don't make it from scratch. I've never made cheese. It's kind of on my list, my bucket list. But if I were in a situation where I had to use my food storage and come up with a meal, that is a meal that I have on hand. I do actually purchase enchilada sauce because I like the ease of canned enchilada sauce. But if I was in a situation where I didn't have it, or I ran out and didn't want to get to the store, or just felt like making it from scratch, I can. And I love and value that. So I will show you a picture of when it comes out of the oven, when we plate it up. But I just wanted to bring you on this adventure with me, and I thank you for joining me. Thumbs up if you like this video, hit subscribe, share it with your friends, and thanks for coming with me. Have a great day.